Today on the Wise News Network, we are in Marion, North Carolina. I'm Rusty Wise.
And I'm Jermaine Gash.
For the Wise News Network. And we are at the Western North Carolina Bigfoot Festival held today. And we expect a huge crowd. We're going to talk to a lot of people. And we might find Bigfoot before it's over.
Yes, tons of people. I see vendors out here, maybe some good food, good music. And, maybe we can turn some skeptics into a believer.
Yes, their tagline says, come a skeptic and leave a believer.
Yes, well, I'm super excited, so let's check it out.
So we're on the Bigfoot hunt. We might find him here today. We're going to talk to a lot of interesting people. Again, I'm Rusty Wise.
And I'm Jermaine Gash.
For Wise News Network in Marion, North Carolina.
We started out pure skeptic, didn't believe in anything. I used to go to work, tell people, man, I went on a Bigfoot investigation. Dude, you're crazy. There's no such a thing as Bigfoot. 13 years later, I'm addicted to it now. I can't lie to you. Like, my wife hates me because we're out in the woods every week for our YouTube channel. Subscribe to Squatch Watchers. I'm plugging it. We started out pure skeptic. I'm just going to give my story, and then I'll let David go into his because mine's pretty short and sweet and to the point. So we started pure skeptic. I was invited on my first Bigfoot investigation in Hildebrand, North Carolina. The guy told me, he's like, hey, when you show up, wear full camouflage, all this. I show up, David, meet him for the first time. He's dressed like Indiana Jones. No one else has camouflage on, and I'm the dude standing here looking like a dork because I'm like, wow, these guys are really cool, and I'm in full ghillie camouflage suit. But I don't believe in anything. I go out in the woods. I'm trying to rush this because we got 30 minutes. I go in the woods. David gives a yell. There's a donkey going like crazy. There's coyotes. Who here knows that coyotes don't shut up for anything? Does everybody know that? Like, it takes something pretty crazy. They just keep yelping. Well, David gives a call. These things still go. They're still going. There's a donkey going crazy, but I'll let David tell that story. So something gives a call out, shuts the coyotes completely up. I'm like, wow, okay, that's weird. That's something dominant. So a couple weeks later, after I've already got bit by that little bug, we go down. They let me do my first ever tree knock. Who knows what a tree knock is? Okay, sweet. We go down. I get my first tree knock. Whack, crack. All of a sudden, a rock comes flying from over a gorge. I don't know. I'm terrible at pronouncing that. But anyway, a rock comes flying at me. I know there's one way in, one way out. It's our team. It was David, Rex, and a guy named Bronson that used to be a part of our team. We know that it's one way in, one way out. The rock come flying in, hit right behind me, scared me to death. I got cold chills. I probably may have teared up a little bit because I was a little younger then, but that got me pretty addicted to it. And then I'm going to fast forward a couple years later, which is a couple years ago now. Me and my wife, we were driving out of our primary hunt spot. She's total skeptic, doesn't believe in anything, still telling me, why do you go out here and do this? Why do you do this? I'm like, just come one day. Well, she came and she saw some stuff, but a week prior to what happened to her and I, there's video on our YouTube. We took our friends, D'Angelo Williams, going to plug his because he's a big charity foundation. He played for the Carolina Panthers, a good friend of ours, 53 strong. He came, another guy came, and we found these prints, and the cast of those prints are at our booth over there, and we found these prints, and if you watch the video, David, before then, I don't think I've ever heard him say but one or two cuss words in the whole 10 years I've known him at the time. But if you watch that video, it is beep, 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 mother, beep, 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 beep. It's pretty much just beep. It's just flatlined like somebody died over here. But in that video, really, we had to call my wife and his fiance to bring us plaster Paris. But a week after that, he has moved into the woods for a solid week straight, and I always carry a 380 in my pocket, like when I'm out in the woods. Don't have one right now, so cops, I don't have one. But so I took him some protection, not for Bigfoot, but for coyotes, wild animals. Me and my wife had a birthday dinner to go to. She's like, I hate leaving David out there just because, crazy people like this walking on the road. Everyone, when I tell you this, it's giving me cold chills. I'm not going to tell you as Bigfoot. I'm not going to tell you as a dog man, a shapeshifter, whatever you want to believe, but something solid black with these white eyes As soon as we crest this hill, cleared the road, I'm getting cold chills telling you this, cleared the road in 3 steps and was gone. And it was making its way toward David in the woods. So I called David and was like, hey man, there's something coming to you, but we're not stopping because I'm a chicken. My wife is a chicken. Now she believes in Bigfoot. She's like, what was that? I was like, that's what we've been out here looking for the past 13 years. But that's that kind of our encounter. We come back later that night. We get out of the car. We go get David. And where this thing had crossed, you know how like grass will grow up on the side of old country roads? Where this thing had crossed, the grass was split about 3 foot wide. But was it Bigfoot? I don't know, but that gave us more credibility to our hunt location. But I'm going to turn this over to David because I know my stories are more boring than his. But check that video out if you definitely want to hear what beep, 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 beep sounds like. Yeah, it's titled, We Found 2 Bigfoot Print.
We went back the next day and we put the tallest guy in our group, a guy named George from down in Atlanta. We sent him up the ravine. And this wasn't that far away. It was from here to the middle of this plaza up on a hill. We sent him up there because there was a log down across that the Bigfoot ran behind. Because it tree hopped. It came down one side of the ravine and ran across to the other. A tree hop ran across, but we could see the muscles activate. We had George go up there, and this thing was literally half a body, torso up through the head taller. George is 6'4". So this thing was easily 8 foot. It'd be going 8 to 9. And I know the thing that struck me the next day was how could anything that big move that fast? That just shocked me. And it was black as the ace of spades. It was black as could be. But we could see all the muscles move. The drawing we had next day was great too, revealing for us. And that's a Class A sighting. So if you look on the BFRO site, it classifies the sighting or evidence, and an A means you were able to distinguish it was not a human or not a bear. It says that in the verbiage, and we are absolutely positive we had a Class A sighting there. So that's a good story. That happened on an expedition. That's a good one for us. You want to tell another one? So I'll start the story, hand it off. So we were deep in the mountains, eastern Tennessee, a couple weeks ago. No Cherokee National Forest. Good, thank you. And nobody in there but a few fly fishermen. And we had a group one night that went up an area we had activity a few years ago. I'll talk about Jeff's a little bit. And as they had scouted the area during the day, but this is remote, way up on a hill. And as they were driving up and went around the bend, the driver, an investigator friend of ours from Florida, saw one of these things try to ascend the high side of the road to go up. And as it ascended, right.
The hillside was this tall.
Yes. And as it started to ascend, don't laugh, he saw, because we have a rendition of actually what he saw. He basically saw the butt, the legs, the back of the head up the hill. But they went back and checked the next day. Tell them about what they saw next day.
Well, the next day, we tried to say, was it a bear? There were no bear claws. There's nothing. It grabbed the tree and went straight up on top of a 6-7 foot tall hill. And there's no bear claw marks. There's nothing. Right. They found torn trees where it pulled itself up. This was in a same area, probably not 300 yards as a crow flies through the woods, that 3 years ago we were walking up a trail, and I know there's Bigfoot activity there. I know there's Bigfoots in that area. But we were walking up a trail and saw nothing. It had been raining, it was muddy. Came back down that trail 30 minutes later, and do you remember how big it was?
Yeah, we had size 12, or bigger than about 14 inches.
So about a 14-inch track, 2 of them, right in the middle of the dirt road, walking.
So the amazing thing about that is we had some military folks, but they were saying it overtly told us it was there. We were scouting an area for a night hike during the day and went in. We could see our footprints and where we'd walk. And this thing had come out and put its footprint. You could see all 5 toes right in the mud, right smack in the middle where we walked in. It was not there on the way in, and it was there on the way out. And we were surrounded. We always try to put ourselves in places where they can see you. So create an amphitheater, high ground they can take and look at you. And we think it came down, went across the trail after we went in the woods to kind of say, hey, we're here. We know you're looking for us. And we cast the footprint. I got pictures of it. And we had, 8 people, I think, with us scouting that day. Everybody saw it. It was not there on the way in. So these things will play mind games with you, fool with you a little bit too. I mean, they live in the woods. We're only there visiting. And I think it's not beyond them to let you know, hey, I don't appreciate you being here. If they do that, you need to retreat. But sometimes they're friendly and interact. Sometimes they let you know they're there. Hey, we're watching too. And other times they let you know they don't want you there.
So in this same exact area, back in March, I took a group in to scout. We always try to scout the area prior to us going in. We want you to have activity. We can never promise that you will have activity. I don't know where a Bigfoot's going to be from one day to the next, but we were scouting and we were in an area we had never been in before. And I will just tell you that I got zapped, got knocked down, that at the same time, 3 different people saw things in the woods. One, they just saw a head above a bush. The 2 others saw one crouching down, and they said they were watching you, Lori. They didn't even notice us in front of them. They were watching you. Again, that was one of the times they're trying to drag me out by my arms, and I'm like, no, let's stay. Typically, if you have Bigfoot activity in one area, I do believe they pass through areas, but I think you're going to have Bigfoot activity in that area all the time. And, I want you to know that on these expeditions, there are so many different kind of people. The first one I went to, I almost left before it started because I thought, oh, there's going to be a bunch of crazy people here, me being one of them. I have met people that are in the FBI, people come on these that are state troopers, police officers, and they'll be like, hey, don't get teachers, engineers, financial advisors, all sorts of people. These are not, hunters, and we have a lot of hunters, but these are educated people that are out there to try to find answers, the same answers that we all want. Whether we ever find them and know for sure, I don't know. But man, I always tell people, I'm like, they tell me, they said, you're going on Bigfoot hunts? I'm like, yeah. They're like, what do you do? And I said, do you like camping? Yeah. Do you like hiking? Yeah. And I'm like, well, then throw Bigfoot hunting in there.
This is contestant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So if you hear one you want to vote for, you make sure you remember that number, okay? We've already had this number issue already, so remember who you're voting for, all right? The way we're going to do it is you're going to get about 5 seconds to do your call, okay? One. All right, contestant number 2. Contestant number 3. Contestant number 4. Contestant number 5. Contestant number 6. Contestant number 7. Contestant number 8. Contestant number 9. Let it rip. Contestant number 10. Yeah, come over out from the front of that. We'll wait and see what the judges say. That was some good calling. But I just want to see who the crowd favorite was. Contestant number 1, hold your hand up. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. Contestant number 10. All right, now when I count to 3, I want all 10 of you to give your loudest Bigfoot call together. 1, 2, 3. All right, when I split it right down here. If you're left of my arm, you're group 1. If you're right, you're group 2. And when I say count to 3, group 1's going to go first with theirs, and group 2 will go second. Group 1. 1, 2, 3. Group 2. Group 1. Group 2. Group 1. Group 2. All right. How many of you believe in Bigfoot now? Okay, number 3, come up to the stage. Number 3 is third place. Number 9. Number 9 is second place. Number 2, come up here. Your Bigfoot Call champion is number 2. Give us one more. Woo! Now, for the rest of today, if you see her somewhere at this festival, you ask her to call Bigfoot because we want to see him today.
So the night he did his first knock was a capital moment in our investigation. It was really the first paramount moment in activity we'd ever had. When this thing threw the rock, okay, you got to imagine when we say one way in, one way out, that means only for us. Now this creature can go wherever it wants to, trust me, creatures plural. So it threw a rock as big as a family Bible, okay? This thing was probably 5-6 pounds and was, literally picture a family Bible, that's what this rock looked like. It was almost square in shape. What we didn't realize is we thought it threw it downhill to us. It didn't. It threw it downhill up, roughly 300 yards. This thing had to be 300 yards away to get this rock from the river. It didn't come from the side of the trail, it was a river rock, okay? And when this thing went over our heads, it landed on a bank up on the top of the bank, and when it hit, it went boom. And then landed, literally right in front of our feet. So this is on video on one of Rex's old videos, which is hard to go back and look at. We're trying to get into the archives. We have at least four MacBooks of archival video that we want to bring to our YouTube channel. But we went back the next day, and Bronson and I found that rock, okay? And, because at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock at night, you're not seeing a whole lot, all right? So we went back the next day, we actually found that rock. So then we're going to fast forward back to where he said we found the print. The print's over here on the table. Full documented video on YouTube. We are a Christian-based group. I beg forgiveness. But when you find your first real Bigfoot print, Taylor and I found 3 or 4. We found a juvenile Bigfoot print. You're like, oh yeah, great. It's a Bigfoot print. We think, sorta, maybe. No way, this is a Bigfoot print. And it is the Holy Grail. We set up an entire investigation a week before, documented that, went back, everything we put up had been taken down. We left a 16-ounce Coke bottle hanging on some limbs with the fluorescent necklaces that glow in the dark. So this, so we stuck it in there. Cap on, the whole 9 yards. We go back the next week. There's one necklace hanging in a tree, the other one's gone, and we start looking for the Coke bottle. The Coke bottle is thrown down into the woods, and it looked like somebody went and just sucked it, just vacuum packed dry, like down. And I was like, holy cow. So we're trying to, we got a stick in it. We're doing the CSI thing. We're going, sniffing it, does it have an odor? I don't know. What do you smell? Plastic. We were just trying to, check all the boxes. Let's be real investigatory on this thing. Let's just make sure this is real. And we're like, okay, technically anybody could have done that. Could have. All fairness. Until, now, gotta admit it, it's 19 degrees. It's cold. I'm ready to go back to the cabin and get warm. D'Angelo is the one that said, let's go on and check the river. I didn't want to. because the suck sorry part of that river walk, man, going down, it's easy. Woohoo! Whee! Going back up, oh my Lord. It is a hike out of that ravine. So anyway, we get down in there, and we're all, you know, there's 4 of us at the time. 5 of us. Tate was with us. There's 5 of us there. And when we see this print, I saw it. I cannot repeat my words.
Let's just reenact it. Go ahead. Beep, beep, beep. Just shoot by your... No, okay. There.
Oh my... Beep! It's a... Beep! I can't even say it. I'm gonna slip up. And I'm not going to do that. But it was a Bigfoot print. It was the biggest one we've ever seen. Ourselves, our own eyes. And we were going nuts. And Tate and Taylor were going, David, we can't blurt this out. You need to stop that. I didn't realize how bad I was doing it, so please forgive me, okay? So, the big part about this print, you can come over to the table and see it, we actually have repops of the original if you want to take one home hanging on your wall, okay? The missing necklace from the Coke bottle that we think a Sasquatch would and throw it away is laying like 1.5 feet beside the print. It dropped it as it 1 second stop. Now this thing came and it jumped off of a bank and went, and that foot landed down, and then it hopped 1 more jump. The toes were right in the water in the river it went. So we loved their money. I wasn't leaving that spot till that was cast. All right. So we took our time and we did it right. We got a great cast print. All right. It's documented. It is real. So if anybody wants to see that, let me know. But you know, we have done this for 13 years now, and one of the big things before we run out of time is, you know, I want to tell everybody we have a theory. Do anybody know what a Sasquatch really is? Got an idea? Come on, real quick. Gigantopithecus. That could be. I cannot rule that out. Anybody else? Nephilim. Yep. I'm not going to rule that out either. I know Ron Moorhead's around here. Over there, right over there in that big blue funeral thing, why they put that up, I don't know, is Ron Moorhead. That is the James Bond of the Bigfoot world. You understand? We are trying to be like that man.
And it was like, you know how people want to play basketball with Michael Jordan? He actually came on a Bigfoot investigation with us, so it was like, we got to go on a Bigfoot investigation with Michael Jordan. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
We felt like Wayne and Garth. We just weren't worthy, okay? So, I'm serious, like, yeah, it was an awkward moment when Ron was sitting there and we're like, hey, Ron, you ever think about Bugs Bunny dressed up like a girl and think she's cute? Ron went, nope. I'm like, yeah, me neither. Y'all did not watch Wayne's World. That was a funny scene. My goodness. But anyway, that was a joke. So, all right. So we have a theory. We've been doing this a long time. It's our theory. If you don't believe me, you don't have to. But how many believe or know that the war in heaven happened before the earth was created? I didn't either. Hadn't read my Bible quite enough, okay? So I know that the war in heaven happened. God cast out 1/3 of the angels. We now call them demons, okay? God created hell. I truly believe earth is a prison, is the keeper for hell, okay? So while we might think this is our heaven, it is not. The Bible speaks clearly of 3 firmaments. It says the birds are allowed to fly in the first firmament, the sky. The stars reside in the second firmament, space. And heaven is the 3rd, beyond. Where that is, I don't know. I just know that this is a launching spot for us eventually to go home. All right? It also says in Genesis, I'll give you the scripture if I could remember it. There's another one in Job chapter 1, verse 7, that gives you 2 clear examples of God talking to Satan. And in Job chapter 1, verse 7, it says something to the effect of, what are you doing? And the devil answered, walking to and fro between the earth. If the devil's walking to and fro between the earth, it has to mean there's a way to get out of hell. The Bible clearly says that there are demons so vile they are locked away in hell forever. Others are allowed to roam between the two worlds. It says, and it depicts Lucifer as the little g god, little g, not capital, little g god of two worlds. That means he can go between earth and hell. He can pass freely. I think Sasquatch, in their different forms, are nothing more than a fallen angel. That's my personal belief. Okay? And it leads credence to it. It says, careful ye not know when you entertain an angel. If you didn't know it was an angel, then that means that angel can change shape. So now we can go talk about skinwalkers and shapeshifters, and we can bring that in biblically. Okay? So then all these crazy people that are talking, and you think, man, these guys are out there. You think, whoa, wait a minute. Now the Bible's given us some pretty interesting things for us to study, to be revealed to you. What's revealed to me may be used differently than how it's revealed to yourself. So I challenge everyone to challenge me. Go pull up your scriptures, read it, and study it for yourself, okay? So, now, how many people raised their hand and said they believe in aliens? How many of you do not? I want a good, solid, I don't believe in aliens. Can't be real. Okay, great. I'm about to burst your bubble. I'm going to look over there. That person that raised their hand and was crazy. You believe in God? You believe in God? Okay. So I'm challenging you on that too. So God, by definition, is an alien. Because he is not from here. He created here. And that was an awe-inspiring, it was an epiphany moment for me when my pastor said that from behind the pulpit. Because he asked the same questions I just did, and I'm going there, I'm like, oh, he's really going to let them have it. All right, you get them, Brian. All right, yeah. And then when he said that, I went, holy cow. I was 40-some years old, and I'm going, I have never thought of it that way. What really goes on in our lives and in this heaven above us, we don't truly know. What goes on beneath our feet, we don't truly know. But I believe that there are interdimensional beings, and if you're brave enough to go out in the woods and look for them, they might reveal themselves unto you.